Please enter current time. It is... 2... Should have gone the other way. 2:45 p.m. Hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. You're welcome. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 o'clock and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You are paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the time that you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whatever time you want. Even if it's not the correct time, you've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. What's going on, everybody? My name is RAMMY2000 and today I am going to be continuing my Let's Play on the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. In this episode, I'm going to be going around doing...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm going to be going around doing all the endings again, slowly but surely. But this time I'm going to be doing it with the bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Okay. So I'm thinking maybe the button
to his cheek.
ending.
Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Right, the button ending with the bucket. Let's see what happens.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
said the bucket.
Furrowed his brow,
not
it doesn't have a
since the
brow.
evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
The hell?
My God, Stanley, you did it.
You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power.
What?
I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic
It
cast
bled.
away inside of it.
What the fuck? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So there is like some kind of story then, because in the tape ending it said the last word the guy said before he died was like that I can't remember what the name was. It began with a G. But anyway, it repeated in there in the button ending of like a grand wizard or something. So maybe there is a story.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Okay. So what ending do I do next?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meet? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
We're not gonna do that. We're gonna go this way.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Do not jump from the cargo lift. What if I jump with the bucket?
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Right. That didn't do anything. Right, cool.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I also have to find those
Stanley
figurines as
decided
well.
to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Maybe I have to
Stanley
go this way?
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go left this time then. Oh. I was right. Okay. Trust the completionist instinct. Okay, so this is telling me where they are. Oh, this is. Okay. So I've got the large room with lots of boxes. I got that one. Inside the sequel expedition. Yeah. Stars. Something to do with stars. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. Somewhere both red and blue. That's the two doors, the red and blue door. I can do that one. Nearby a fireplace. That's the boss's office. Private but smelly place for an important person. The boss's toilet? I'm not sure about... Oh no, not stars. Damn dyslexia. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. So they're all on this side then? Apart from the red and blue door? Sick. Okay, I can do that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aha!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Stanley, I like that one too. Right, let's not go in there. Let's... Or do I? No, I'm going to try and find the figurines. And see what happens. Right, let's go all the way up to the boss's office. Bathroom. Aha.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Figlies.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I like Figlies. Okay. I got the feeling... Okay. Right. So now what? Okay, we can just go in here. Stanley. I know this doesn't go anywhere, but I just wanted to hear the music. Okay. Right, let's go in here then. What was it? It was
Stepping
2,
into his manager's
8,
office, Stanley
4,
was once again
5.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Ah. Stanley.
You're getting close now, Stanley.
Figley.
You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the
Figler
last
and
one,
Marines.
and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Right. So now I need to finish off doing this ending because I need to go to the left now. Actually, I'll just begin the game again. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
I don't know if you need the bucket to collect the
mind.
figurines.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I'm not entirely sure though.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Right,
A
we're not
cargo
going there.
lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But
Okay.
Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, let's go.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
What?
Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which,
Okay.
if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay. So I guess I need to go to the red and blue door without the bucket. Is this a bucket?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Okay.
Let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh, I got it right.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Wait, how am I doing this? What the hell? Am I meant to be getting these wrong? A tractor.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yeah, why not?
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Okay. Bye, tractor. Got another tractor.
Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What? What? I don't know what's going on. I'm so confused.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How can it be and not be a bucket?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
Yes, you are a bucket.
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
What? No.
Okay, here we go.
You can't do that. I better have my
What
bucket.
happened? Is everything gone? Why did
Because
everything
everything's a
disappear?
bucket.
Was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Yep.
Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So,
Right.
tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Yes.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right,
True.
here we go.
Okay. Reloading. And we're back. Everything's
All
a
of his
bucket.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I'm skipping the bucket. Going to the red and blue door. Getting
When
the
Stanley came
Stanley
to a set
figurine.
of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. I'm going this way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah?
Look,
Right.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on yours. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly.
Stiggly Wiggly.
Stanley, this is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward.
Yes.
I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Right.
Now,
Start the game again. See if something happens. It's taking longer to load. What's going to happen? What's happening? Hello? Did the game crash? No? Okay. Whoa.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness?
Yes.
Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay. We're back here again. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Okay. I thought there was no reward. You get to go downstairs instead. Okay. Let's go down here then.
Here's
exhibit.
where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
I've got 7 out of 6 now.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Right. What happens if I fall down now? I won't. I won't do it.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Third, it was the stairs because I did it before the bathroom.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's
Okay.
see, what came next?
A pink room? I
Oh
don't know.
yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Nah. This one didn't happen. boss's office.
This was the 5th mini-stand, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my god, it's all the way back in like 2009. This is like Windows 7 or Windows XP era. Yeah, I remember all these transitions. Oh, it's so pixelated. Well, that takes me back.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
8 minutes. He spent 8 minutes making that. Okay, now I need to go to the one in the bathroom. Or was the pink room the bathroom?
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other.
Right.
Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
You are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Past, okay. Let's go through the blue door this time.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
Right, why are we going back?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Oh, don't play it again. Sped it up. Yep.
Yes.
There you go, see?
I love that video.
Now we're back in the pink room again.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
I'm on 15 out of 6.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Okay, what if I go to the bathroom? No, nothing. Okay.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
I can't... Oh, I can't jump off. Okay. I thought I was able to jump off, but I can't. Okay, now we're back in here again.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
The expedition. Oh, the jumping circle. We're back at the
Look,
beginning.
it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
Oh,
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
right. And my office.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
This is the story about a man named Stanley.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. Well, before I continue, I'm going to leave this video here. I thought something would actually happen with the Stanley figurines, but apparently not. Like he said, there was actually no reason to do it. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the RAMMY YouTube channel. I'll see you guys in the next episode of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. RAMMY out. See you guys later.